Just to remind you, we're going to do this panel on the ACA, and then we will take a break. And then when we come back, we'll be talking about ICD-10, and we'll be finishing up today with a discussion about Provider Source, the credentialing application. Can we get some?
Live from Seattle, I'm Will Campbell, and this is the hard-hitting healthcare current events game show, Gets to the Point.
Yes.
Now, it's a very exciting day for our production. We are being videotaped. What that means is our producer has discovered there are over 400 cable channels, and he believes that we'll find an audience in one of those. So tell all your friends and families, because he's promised me a large, lucrative contract if we can get this into production. So, I don't know if you know how this game is played. It's played because audience members like you have sent a list of questions. We've selected a panel that is clamoring to answer those questions. Why are they clamoring? Okay, because you as the audience will judge and award them a grand prize at the end of this panel. Here's my suggestion. You award the grand prize on, did they stay within time limits? Did they have a little panache, a little je ne sais quoi personality? And did they get to the point? Those are the criteria. So here's an example of how it would work. So first, all of these questions need to fall within a certain expectation. So the questions that were submitted and that we accepted were the ones that take a look at ACA from a provider perspective. Okay, how does ACA affect you as a provider? What's not going to be taken is questions about how does it affect you as an employer? How does it affect you as a patient? So they have to really be focused on how does ACA affect you as a provider. The second thing, it's related to policies, pre-auth policies and the pre-auth website, eligibility policies and eligibility website. So those are the ones that we will take. So as an example, how many of you are familiar with how to use this laptop? Okay, how many are you familiar that there's a new CMS 1500 form? Raise your hands. Okay, so not everybody, but keep your hands up. How many have actually seen one? Number of hands go down, right? You know, it's funny, it's actually very difficult to find a copy of the new 1500 form, okay? So we've reached out to our studio audience, and one person came forward and produced a 1500 that we could see. That person is in the audience today, and if she'd stand up, Janine Lambert, yay. So we have a little prize for her, okay? So she gets to think about what it might be throughout the panel and doesn't get it till the end. So we really appreciate audience participation in these events. Okay, so given the new 1500, one of the big things about the new 1500, why they did that, is if you'll notice, and you can't see it, but when you actually look at it on the website, there are now 8 additional places to put diagnoses. And that's going to be very important, 8 additional to put them, okay? So that makes a grand total of, my quick math, 4 plus 8, 12. 12 diagnoses can be included, and that will be important throughout the whole ACA process for correct coding and complete coding. Okay? So how this works is audience will have some submitted questions. Okay? So here's an example, one question that they've submitted. When will you start accepting the CMS 1500 version 0212, that's the new form, and when will you stop accepting the old form? So that's an example of a question. Now, we won't present it to this panel because we presented it to all of the health plans, and all of the health plans have answered that. And you can find that in these slides. I won't go through it. It's too small of a print. But every health plan, both national and local, so 12 health plans, have answered that. And that's going to be important for when you can send it and when you can stop sending the old form. So go on the website, take a look at it, but this is out there. So that's the general flow of how we will do the game show. Okay. So what we want to do first is we want to meet our panelists. So we'll have the panelists introduce themselves, just their name and what organization they're from. So the panelists to the right.
Andrew Boos with the Washington State Hospital Association. Sarah Espanol from Regents Blue Shield.
Kendra Frere from First Choice Health.
Tracy Cardillo, Premier Blue Cross.
And Brian Birch with Group Health.
And Elizabeth Bento from Cigna.
Now, okay, understand. Okay, so 2 rounds. First is the lightning round. Okay, as you will notice, my colleague Teresa David has just passed out cards, game cards, and on each card is a number, and the number starts from 1 to X, and the first one gets to answer the first question. Okay, so we will start with who has number 1. Oh, you can flip over your cards.
An ace.
An ace. An ace. So, question 1. First, while she's thinking.
Shouldn't I hear the question first so I
No.
can think?
Yeah, you can think. Okay, what we do is we have a timer. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, it will ding at the end, so I will click it. Now, how long they'll have for the lightning round is 15 seconds. Now, for those of you who don't know exactly how much 15 seconds is, it goes like this. Now, as you listen, it seems like eternity. But in the hot seat that these guys are on, that will go like that. And part of this issue is, can they get to the point within 15 seconds when the time is up? Okay? So with that,
No pressure.
is your plan participating in the exchange?
Yes.
There it is. She made it within the time. Okay, now what we'll do in the lightning round is everybody will have an opportunity to answer the question. Okay? So, next one. Brian.
That question?
That question.
Yes. The
Okay.
answer is yes.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Will Cigna. Yes. Primera said yes. First choice.
Community Health Plan will be accessing our network.
Community Health Plan. Note that for a future question. First choice responded with Community Health Plan. Interesting.
So for Regents, we're not participating in the exchange. We'll be selling individual plans off the exchange, but our parent company, Cambia, has created a new plan for the exchange called Bridgespan Health. So we'll be selling exchange products through Bridgespan Health.
Okay, first round. Next question. Who has number 2? All right, Brian, Group Health. To what extent does your health plan follow the BPR for eligibility and benefits? Okay. For those that don't know, a work group of providers and health plans have identified what are the requirements that should be there for a eligibility and benefits website. So this question the provider is asking is, does your health plan follow those, and to what extent? Okay, Brian.
Yes, Group Health follows those completely.
Okay. Elizabeth,
Yes, Cigna follows that as well,
completely.
completely.
Is it my turn? now?
It is your turn.
Okay. Yes, Primera does, and for LifeWise, they will effective January 1st.
So Primera and LifeWise starting January 1st for LifeWise.
Primera now.
And LifeWise January 1st.
Correct.
Okay. In the nick of time. Kendra.
First Choice Health Administrators does, with the exception of 270 and 271.
Okay, she said First Choice Administrators does, with the exception of 270 and 271. So the eligibility and benefits, there's 2 ways to get it. One is through the website, and First Choice follows those for the website. The other way is through the actual 270 and 271 HIPAA transaction. Everybody knows what that is. Raise your hands if you know what the HIPAA transaction is. Okay, so there is an electronic way to communicate eligibility and benefits between the provider and the health plan and back. That's the 270, 271 transaction. And at this point, they don't fully comply with the BPR, correct?
First Choice Health Administrators, yes.
First Choice Health Administrators.
Yes.
And yes, for Regents, we're 100% compliant.
Okay. Who has question 3? Okay, so question 3. I think we heard part of this question before. Will the eligibility and benefits coverage reported on the websites be in real time?
So as Stephanie mentioned, it's overnight. So
So overnight. So they will update it at midnight.
Right.
So it will be
Is it
as
midnight?
effective as midnight the night before.
For Cigna, it's real time.
Group Health's is real-time as well.
First Choice Health Administrators is real time.
Yeah, Regents is real time as well.
Okay. Next question. Who has question 4?
I do.
Okay, so new rule. There are certain rules that I get to make up as we go along. That's the advantage of being a game show host. Okay, and the rule is when somebody gets a question, at any point in time they can pass. Okay, now you as the audience will reflect that in your determination of whether they get the grand prize, but they can pass it to a member. There are certain legitimate reasons why you might want to pass it to a member. This is potentially one of them. However, if a health plan chooses to answer a question for another health plan, they will not be demoted for that. Okay, so Kendra, do you want to answer this question?
I'm gonna pass.
Okay. Okay, so this is the question. I missed the 3 Regents webinars on how to get physical medicine pre-authorized for massage, acupuncture, chiropractic. What do I do?
So we have additional webinars available in December, and we have the complete slide deck for the webinar that was done earlier this month available on our public provider website, so you can go out to our public website to grab that. We also have information at our booth in the back, so you can stop by and grab some paperwork.
They speed up.
Forgot about that.
Okay. 3 more sentences. You're good?
I'm good.
You're good. Okay. To the point. All right. So who has question 5? Elizabeth? Can pre-authorizations be retroactive?
For Cigna, yes, for 30 days, but it would depend on what the issue was, but it can be done.
Brian?
Yes, Group Health has a policy of a 14-day window for retroactive authorizations, and beyond that require documentation and review.
So for Premera, not typically. There is, on the right side of the prior auth, there's a list of extenuating circumstances. So we understand that there are times where they may be.
Kendra?
Thank you.
There's about 40 groups accessing First Choice Health medical management, and it is group specific whether or not the pre-authorizations can be retroactive.
If the service has already been rendered, we don't do the retro authorizations, but you can have them reviewed on a post-review basis, and we do have the extenuating circumstances as well.
Okay. So when you go to break, you've kind of gotten the high level of how each health plan will address this. Feel free to go to their booth and ask for more specifics as you want to. Okay? So that's a real interesting opportunity to do that. Okay. So the other thing that came up is this extenuating circumstances. For those of you who may not know, there is an extenuating circumstances BPR. You can find that on the website. And that talks about under what circumstances the pre-auth requirement will be waived. So for those of you that may have those types of things, check the website, check the pre-auth policy, and when they say that in those situations it doesn't matter, it's waived, that's where you'll find that information. Okay, who has question 6? Okay, what is the time frame to receive pre-authorizations?
So for Regents, we typically will do the review at least 30 days out.
Review 30 days out. Kendra?
I didn't get the specific answer to this one. They just said prior to the procedure. Medical management gave me that, so I'm going to go with that.
Okay. The other thing another rule that I should have mentioned, in this and the second round, there is the opportunity for a lifeline. So at any point in time, seriously, any panelist can reach out to anybody in the audience or their colleagues to ask for support. However, that lifeline request needs to be made before they start answering. It's the only rule.
5-day turnaround.
Oh, 5-day turnaround.
If it's submitted online, you'll be able to get an authorization that would say approved. For pending ones, it would take 24 to 48 hours to get some information. And then if it's faxed or called in, it would take 24 to 48 hours as well.
And with group health for routine requests, we have a response time generally of 5 days.
5 days?
If there is no information required, longer if additional information is required.
And who has question 7? Okay. Question 7. Is your information on the pre-auth one-stop shop page up to date for imaging and other type of specialty services? Let me give some background for those who may not understand this. Pre-auth can be problematic for providers. There are a plethora of health plans that all have pre-auth capabilities. How do you know where to go for each one? On the One Health Report website, there is a one-stop shop page. That's what it's called, one-stop shop. You can go to that page, and for each health plan, it will describe what you need to do, where you need to go for pre-auth and admit notification for both their medical products and their advanced imaging and their mental behavioral health. So if you struggle for where do I go to find pre-auth information, where you go, the one-stop shop, go there and it will list for each health plan what their website is, what phone numbers to call, and what their procedures are. So what this question is asking is the information on that page up to date for medical, for imaging and other type of specialty services?
So for advanced imaging, it is updated for Regents. We have some new updates that aren't out there yet. We have a physical medicine program that's starting November 1st, and we had some changes to the inpatient hospital with a discharge notification. So we're
Another 15 seconds.
So we're working on getting those updated.
Okay, phew, okay. That grand prize is definitely important to her. Do you notice that? She wants to stay to the point in the time frame. Kendra.
Yes.
Tracy.
Yes.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Yes.
And yes.
Okay, there you go. All right, so